Managing your workforce just got easier. Our AdvancedHR solution offers applicant tracking, new hire onboarding, employee and manager self-service dashboards, HR administration, benefits, performance tracking, communication, the ability to assign and manage training classes, extensive reporting capabilities, to track and maintain certifications and licenses. We also have the ability to audit, and the system offers a responsive and intuitive design. As we make our way into the system, the first thing we're going to notice when we sign in is the dashboard. The dashboard is convenient and easy to read. We can have company announcements, benefit links. We also can do custom verbiage for employees. To the right, to keep us organized and have that span of control with our employees, we see notifications such as birthdays, certificates. We can look at licenses, schedule reviews, employee anniversaries, as well as employee W-4 changes. So what this means to you is if they utilize a self-service to go in and create a W-4 change, you can open and approve that from this screen. Next, we'll navigate into our company dashboard. By clicking my HR admin link at the top, now you can see I have access to my entire company. For convenience and ease of use, we have all of our items that we need for applicant tracking grouped together, onboarding, creating and maintaining benefits for employees, maintaining those employee files. For instance, the dashboard we were just looking at, if I wanted to view that dashboard, everything in the system is going to function on a yes-no logic. So as I see this dashboard, I have two views. I can look at my administrator view. Do I want to see those announcements, yes or no? Do I want to see reviews, yes or no? But I also can dictate what my employees are going to see. So if I want my employees to view classes that they've been assigned or see their upcoming reviews or licenses that may be expiring, we can set that information here. We actually like to joke, we don't want someone to have an advanced degree in astrophysics to be able to use our system. We want a completely friendly user interface for everyone. As we dive into the system today, we're going to start with applicant tracking. Applicant tracking is started with a question bank. Questions in our system can be 4 different formats. They can be free-form text, date-driven, they can be yes or no, and you also have the ability to create multiple choice questions. What that question bank is used for, if you want employees to answer specific questions on their application, we can set that information up. We also can go into that application and create different versions of the application. So maybe you have an HR generalist and then you have a senior HR generalist, so they're going to be doing different functions and you want them to answer different questions. Once we have our foundation set in place, we can go to our job posting. You can have an unlimited amount of job postings in the system. If I come into a pre-existing job, I can say, is this job open, yes or no? I also can link it to a specific position in the system. I can tie out my workers' comp, and I can even tie this out by division. I can take my job description and place that here. I can copy and paste as well as leave additional information I want candidates to see. I can attach this to the version of application I want. And now I'm also going to have the ability to see this job posting link. What this is used for is this can be embedded on your company's website. You also can copy and paste this information on any job board. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we want to post this on a job board. I can actually come in and paste this information in the description so when applicants are looking at the position, they can see that information. I also have the ability to go in and link this to a recruiter. So if a specific person is going to handle this when the applicant comes through the system, this is where we can tie it out. Now that I have my job posted online, I can go into my applicant tracking dashboard, and now I can actually see specific information pertaining to my applicants. I can see the name, the job the applicant's applying for, what status, where they're at in that workflow process, as well as search for specific keywords to make sure I'm getting the most qualified candidates. In the event that your organization has different workflows, we can set up statuses and workflow movements for whatever workflow you may need. In the event that your organization does an initial phone screening and then maybe it's an in-person interview and we're going to make an offer. Depending on how you set up and operate, we can accommodate any request. We can move this candidate between the different workflows in the system. Now that candidates have applied, we've reviewed their applications and decided we would like them to become an employee. Now we can move forward into our onboarding process. This process can be customized. We can create those same question banks if we would like employees to answer specific questions. An example, maybe there's a doctor's office and they give scrubs the first day, so they need to know what size uniform. To do this, we go into our task list. What this is going to do is show every position, office, location that we have in the system. I can tie this out to a specific position, or I can come in and tie this out to an office. What this is going to do is we can dictate in the system what information we want that employee to fill out upon receiving the email they're ready to be onboarded. I can put custom notes in here. I also, going again with the system's yes/no logic, can say, I want you to do your I-9 electronically. I want that background check signed off, and let's make sure to include custom company documents. Maybe we want the employee to sign off on a drug screening. We would also like the employee to sign off on their internet and email policy, and we would also like the ability to add the company handbook. Our system does utilize e-signature, so as the employee is going through their onboarding process, these documents are going to be present for them to sign off that they received the information. And those questions we made in our question bank, now we can actually attach them to the onboarding, so that way if I need to know that t-shirt size, or maybe your organization donates to charity, we can ask those questions as the employee is completing their onboarding. And now that I know the paperwork has been started, I can go to my dashboard and see where all of the candidates are at. So in the event, we have this numbered. 1, the paperwork is prepped. It's online waiting for that employee to go and fill it out. We can respond to that employee via email in the event they're starting on Monday and we need to get that paperwork in. We can actually message those employees. A 2 is the paperwork is started, but they're not halfway complete. The 3 is going to show us that the employee is more than halfway done. And now once we get to this 4, the employee has completed and uploaded the assigned information that we requested. And now, by clicking on this link, I can view the information in the system. If everything looks great, the information looks good, I have all of the documents I requested, I can approve this. This is going to create the employee ID as well as the I-9, the W-4. It's going to create their direct deposit and their payroll information. So now we've successfully recruited as well as onboarded an employee. Paper benefit enrollments prove to be quite cumbersome for most employers. To overcome this obstacle, we've created an electronic enrollment process in our system. Everything with our benefits starts with creating the plan and putting the plan in the system. After, we set up the open enrollment so employees can go online and elect in the plans that we set up. Finally, we need to give administrators the ability to monitor that open enrollment and see what's going on where each employee is at with electing their coverages. Getting us started with adding a plan in the system, we can create a new plan. I'll go to a pre-existing plan so we can see information and how it's loaded. Here's the medical plan that I made up with Florida Blue. I can choose if this plan is active. I can also tie this out to specific medical insurance. I can choose what type of plan this is. If this is going to be used for ACA tracking, I can define that in the system. That way the system knows, hey, we need to make sure that employees enroll in this, and if they waive it, we need to make sure we have a waive code. We can list the website URL, the password if multiple people are going to access that site. We also can determine if this is COBRA eligible. So in the event that an employee terminates and we need to fire off notifications to make sure that the proper person is notified to get those COBRA elections out, we can create that event in the system right here. We also can tie out various eligibility and enrollment restrictions. So maybe your organization does not allow employees to enroll before 90 days. We can actually tie out that restriction to the plan. One of the most important features is we can bring in our payroll deduction information. As that employee goes online and enrolls in these benefits, and it's approved by your administrator, now these deductions are going to take effect and trickle down to the employee's personal file. You can upload a copy of that plan, and now here's where we say our different coverages and the cost to the employee as well as the employer. We're not limited to just entering the cost. In the event that you have those voluntary benefits that use age banding, the system can compute this information. We simply enter the low age, the high age, and the rate, and as that employee is electing those plans, now it's going to bring that cost in to the employee's file. Now that we have the plan in our system, let's go in and build out an open enrollment. Very easy. We can choose a new open enrollment. I'll go into my previous open enrollment that I started for this year. My start date is when employees can actually go online and start enrolling in the benefits. My end date is when the system's going to lock down that open enrollment. I can put whatever message here I need to, and now we're going back to that yes/no logic. Yes or no, do we want these employees to go online and enroll in these benefits? If we say yes, now this is going to be populated to the web and employees can go online and elect those benefits. I've added the plan in my system. I've created that open enrollment. So let's see where my employees are at. By going into my open enrollment and choosing my event, 2019, I now see where my employees are at, what plan type they're electing, what coverage type they're choosing, and where they're at. So in the event that Mickey Disney, maybe our benefits need to be finalized by Monday and it's Wednesday, I can fire off a notification that he'll receive in his self-service, letting him know, hey, we need to get those benefits started. This is how I can monitor and control what's going on with the open enrollment with employees. And speaking of notifications, that takes us into the next area of things that we can set up that will automate and make an administrator's life easier. So we have standard events in our system that we can say, when this event happens, we want you to deliver it to this recipient. We want it to happen within X amount of days or when the event happens, and we can also tie out a custom description to say what that is. You can have an unlimited amount of notifications in the system. This can be on events such as an employee signed a class, direct deposit changes, employee onboarding, employee W-4 submission. We also can tie out notifications to reviews. It doesn't have to be a standard event. We can configure custom events in the system. So that way we can define when this notification is going to go off via email. It can be sent to employees, it can be sent to managers, it also can be sent to external resources. So as I've worked my way through the system, we started with that applicant tracking, we onboarded an employee, we offered them benefits, and we've also set up notifications so that way we understand what's going on with our workforce. At our company setup, we can come in and define custom certificates as well as classes. Frequency, we can set up those EEOC codes. We also can define reviews, shifts, and statuses. And our employee maintenance, this is where we can get in and control those employee files. We can maintain them. We can see documents as it pertains to a company level, or we can see the employee level. We can also verify education information. We can look at pay stubs, and we can see that tax information. So to get us started how an employee document level would work, I'm going to select the document for an employee. So as you can see on my screen, this is bringing up every document for every employee. If I want to drill down to a specific employee, we'll just say Melissa McCarthy. Well, because she's my test employee and she's hilarious, I can type in her information, and now this is going to bring up documents that are specific to her. So in the event I want to see a document such as this, the background authorization, I simply click on that document, and now the system is going to bring that document up, and since we use e-signature, I know that Melissa signed off on this document March the 12th at 2:23 p.m. I can look at any document that is pertaining to this employee. And in like manner, I also have the ability to see those company documents, all the documents pertaining to my company. By simply clicking on the link, I can see those documents. Now, if I'm an administrator and I would like to add a new document to my company, I can simply go to my company documents, and now I can add this document, whatever that document may be. I also can say if e-signature is required. Maybe you have an addendum to your handbook and you want employees to sign off on that information. We would simply come in and add that document, tell the system where we want the employee to sign, and now we could post that document for all employees to sign off. In addition, we have the ability to come in and create those reviews for employees. So to assign a review to an employee, I simply come into my review, I click New, and now I can assign to that specific employee. I can choose the type, whether it's a 30-day review or maybe it's an annual review, maybe we want a peer review, or this is a disciplinary item. We can assign that in the system. We can choose the status that this has been scheduled, who's going to review this. We can choose our begin and end date, and what that's going to do is populate that notification for you to show you who's coming up on this review being done. Now I can attach that review in a document. I also can come into the system and fill out a template. And I also have the ability to set a second reviewer. So in that case, someone else is going to come in and sign off on the review. This is done at the employee level and at the reviewer level. And with tracking class information, it is the same setup. So this is going to show me that this class has been assigned. I can come in at any point and assign a new class to an employee. I just choose my class type. I can choose my expiration date when this is going to happen. Do I want that notification to fire off? And when I expect this to be completed? I also can enter my grade or result, letting me know exactly what that employee scored in this portion of the training. And that takes us into our final area from the administrator's perspective, reporting. How do we get that detailed information that we need? Well, we have standard reports in the system. Let's just say we're going to run this compensation history. I can execute this report, put in whatever filter I would like. It's going to display your company logo, and then now I'm going to see that report on the screen in front of me. I can save this report in whatever format I would like. And now let's just say I entered the wrong information. I meant to bring in inactive employees. Well, I can change and toggle those settings. So now it's going to change that report to show me what I actually wanted to see. But we realize that different organizations need the ability to run different reports. So you can save and store reports. I saved a benefit census previously. Or I can go in and create a new report, and it's going to be based off a concept. Do we want to see achievements? Do we want to see applicants? I'm going to go in and do my benefit information. All the items on this table are in front of you to the right, but now we can add information as needed. Maybe I want that last name, and I want to know, what the deduction frequency is, and if there's a plan code. So as I create and add this information to my report, I can filter, I can sort. I also can go in and save this report. But before I do that, I can actually output this report to screen. And now I'm going to be able to see that detailed report in front of me. So if everything looks great, I can save this report and I never need to build it again. If there's changes that I want to make, I can go back in and change certain items and re-output to screen, and now that report is going to be in the exact format that I wanted. So I've signed out of the system from an administrator, and now I'm signed in as an employee. But this is not just a regular employee. It's a supervisor as well, so we can show the functionality in the different roles. I still have access as an employee to see all of those company announcements. To the right, the only thing I'm going to see is birthdays that pertain to me or my licenses or my reviews. But if you look at this anniversary information, I made this test employee a manager. So now, because they're a manager and employees are assigned to them, they have the ability to see their staff's information. In the event, we can customize any of our screens. So we do customization of roles in 3 areas. We do this based on the menu, the screen, and the function. So we can really accommodate any organization's need to have a custom role for a specific employee. So getting into my HR information, now I can see my personal details. So I can look at my compensation history. I can see company documents. Maybe I need to look at any classes that are assigned to me, or I would like to see my reviews. I can access that information here. I also have access to my W-4, my W-2, 1095s. I can view my pay stubs and download them as well. And I also have the ability to create and enroll in those benefits. So in the event that I'm an employee enrolling in benefits, I just choose my open enrollment. This is going to take me in number format through an intuitive workflow that's going to be start to finish. So I click next. It's going to verify my information. It's going to ask me if I have any dependents in the system. And what this is doing is as the employee is enrolling, the system knows if you have no dependents, well, you're only offering coverage to yourself. If you have dependents, it'll show those coverage types. As I get into the system, it's going to show me this is your dental plan. It will show me the cost to the employer as well as the cost to myself, and I can enroll in benefits or I can decline those benefits. In the event that I try to move forward without selecting anything, the system's going to give me an error that says, hey, you need to choose one of these options. Let's just say I decline and I'm going to move forward. Once I get to the end, this is going to ask me to sign off and make sure I understand the amount that I've enrolled in and what coverages the company has offered to me. This is going to send a notification to the administrator saying this employee has enrolled in these benefits. Do you want to approve those benefits? I also have the ability to view my time off information. So in the event that you have a system that is integrated with ours, or you're using our AssureForce time and attendance solution, this will be a single sign-on that takes you immediately to that system and you're logged in. You can view your time. You can see the information as it pertains to you. The employee also has the ability to update their employment information. And now in the event that they're a manager and they need access to resumes, or you want them to be able to see applications where potential employees have applied for a position, this is where we can set this up and we can give access to the system. Hopefully you've had a well-rounded overview of our advanced HR solution. Thank you so much for your time.